Is there something special in your mind because of which you thought that maybe I should go for this? Something which connects to you.
Apart from the title, obviously, we'll keep that rights reserved.
Neha, other than my forcing you to come and attend at least for half an hour, I know it gets really late for you. But other than that, what do you think? Why this session would help you out, or anybody over here?
I think when we are here, all of us, we will learn something from Pragya, you, and from Rahul ji. I have seen his videos and on YouTube, and I think you both are great speakers. I'm sure even if I just listen to you, even if I don't speak anything, I'm sure I'm going to learn something, and all of us are going to learn something. And learning, which should never stop, is the main sole purpose of being here. So it's all for learning.
Thank you so much, Neha, for this. And I don't know how much knowledge would we have in on this particular topic, but this is something which we have deeply studied, and this is something which we have deeply worked on, being in a relationship. So all of us go, and we have these kind of relationships around us which make us happy. There are relationships which makes us concerned, and there are relationships which don't mean anything to us at times. That was the whole sole reason that we are here to discuss on this particular topic today. So before I start, for all the people who have joined us for the first time, I'll just brief you as to what Living Life is and how do we work on these sessions. Living Life as a concept was started by Rahul around 14 years back. Till now, we were mostly going to corporates, colleges, we were having standalone sessions and NGOs and different institutions where we were delivering our life skills sessions and soft skills sessions. But as this pandemic started and we knew that we could reach more people across globe, I would say, because we have had attendees across globe now, almost we had people from Poland, Saudi, and many other places. So this was an area where we decided that we want to go for something with which we can influence people to having a better life. So from whatever knowledge we have till now from our study or the kind of sessions that we take and our interactions with people, this was something which was decided on that. And normally we have our sessions on Tuesdays and Saturdays. And Tuesdays is the inspiring series, and Saturday is mostly impromptu. But because this Tuesday we could not meet you all, we have decided to do this particular session on a Saturday. So this will be a mix of the impromptu speaking and the inspiring series as a whole. So that's all about how we started this. Now, before I start with the whole session, what I would want to understand is, do you agree that any relationship that we have around us would affect our way of thinking, our behavior patterns, our attitudes towards things, and our whole life as a whole? I think to speak something about it, Rahul would be a good person. Rahul, can you please introduce them the whole topic and the concept?
Okay. Good evening, everyone. This was a special session that we had in mind, given the complexities of relationships that each one of us experience, be it professional relationships or the social relationships or the personal relationships or the most important one, the one that you have with yourself. These are relationships.
Rahul, sorry to interfere, but I'm just getting some messages that the voice is not audible. Can you please all confirm whether it's audible?
Am I audible now?
It was audible to me.
It's clear. It's clear.
Okay.
Sure. Thank you.
Rishi, am I audible now? Sorry, Rishi Raj. Am I audible now?
No, you're not audible.
Can you please try to increase the volume of your phone, maybe, or if you're using a headphone?
Better now, Rishi? Am I audible to everyone else? Okay. I
Yes.
think
Rishi,
Rishi, you can just.
can you try logging in once again? Can you just disconnect once and try logging in?
Mathangi, you have something to say?
No, I just wanted to confirm I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay,
Great.
Rishi, if you can just try to disconnect or check your audio device once, because everyone else is finding it fine. Could be a network issue from your end as well. So with that, we'll just, without any ado, let's continue the session. You can log in, log out and log in if there's a problem, Rishi. We'll be more than happy to have you back. Okay, the idea behind why we had this session is the underlying theme of what we have already had a lot of sessions on happiness and the reason what makes us happy and how we can be in control of our happiness. Let me share with you one of the longest study on happiness which has happened. It's by Harvard. It's a study which has happened for 75 years. A long study in which 724 individuals were screened over a period of 75 years through their period of their young age to their middle age to the retirement period process, or and how they've lived ever after that also. The questions that they were being constantly asked were about their personal life, their professional lives, their well-being, their health, and all these things came become a parameter in this survey which happened every year for 75 years. And one thing, the only thing that came out of this study was the fact that I'll put it in the single line that has been an output of this study. Good relationships keep us happier and healthier. That's the underlying study result that has come out of this longest study on happiness. And the reason we are talking about is happiness, not success. We are not talking about success. It's about the feeling that you have within of how you're going to live your life and the feeling of the quality of life that you're going to have. So here, this being the underlying reason, we thought let's have a session on how we can build relationships, the professional ones, the social ones, the personal ones that you have, the closer ones with regard to your family and the people who are close to you. And one of the most important ones, which is not often discussed, the relationship that you have with yourself. First in line, we'll be having Pragya, who will be talking about how one of the most important aspects of any relationship is the communication that you have, because that forms the underlying base of any relationship. Because when someone's external or even with your own self, what you talk to yourself, how you talk to yourself, and the underlying understanding that you have about others and about yourself. Pragya will be talking about how we can build this communication which helps us in building and lasting relationships. That's what Pragya is going to talk about. And then I'll come back with my thoughts about what are the real challenges that we face that are actually breaking up the relationships that most of us have. So I'll be coming back with that. I'll hand it over to Pragya for now. Over to you, Pragya.
Thank you, Rahul. Now, before I start my session on what affects or what is this whole scenario of communication and whether it is something hyped or whether it is something deeply important into it, I have posted something on the chat. If you can just log into that and share your answers, it would be great. So the question says, how many of you feel you have great communication in your relationship? It can be any relationship, your parents, your friends, your husband, your kids, anything.
Yeah, are your results populating? I can't see them.
Yeah, even I can't. That's what I was wondering, whether people are answering or not.
Because I've answered and I can't see the results here.
You have answered, Rahul.
Okay. Just give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second. I'll just check it. Maybe some technical error. Just give me 1 second and I'll relaunch it.
If it doesn't go through, Pragya, you can just ask the question and you can use the option of raise hand or the chat option here. Okay?
So I have got it, Rahul. I'll just put it for the presentation.
Sure.
I'll just put on share screen. Okay. These are the answers which I have got till now. Any more people who have not yet answered?
We still have 4 people to respond, Pragya. I think out of 19.
I think one could be Pragya herself.
So it's just going to be 6 in that case.
Great. No problem. But according to what people have answered, I believe that most of you should not be attending this session altogether, believing that you have great communication in all your relationships. But now let me question as to what happens around, and do we really have the right answers that we have given here? I would want all of you to please switch on your videos, because I would want to see your responses and your facial responses and not your vocal ones. It's perfectly fine if your house is in a mess or you're at a place which you would not want to display, because after COVID, everything is acceptable. Okay, so from the people who have opened their videos and who switched on the videos, my first question goes is it that you really feel that you're having a perfect communication, or is it that you have started accepting the kind of communication which is happening and perceive it to be the good one? That's my first question. You can put your responses in your chat. My second question: how many of you either face or have a habit of being on your phones when you're communicating with your partner or your friend or somebody? Either it can be you, or it can be you who's on the facing side of it. When you are talking to your husband, or you're talking to your kids or parents and they're busy with their phones. How many of you face this? How many of you think 10 times before telling something to your partner, your parents, your friend, or anybody whom with you are in a close relationship with? It can be either your boyfriend also. But how many of you have to think before telling them something, before telling them what is right away in your mind, and you have to judge whether I should speak it like that? How should I convey it to that person? Whether that person will understand. Should I really tell it to him or not? These can be different questions which can be coming up in your mind. Now see the answers in chat. Why are these not 47% which was there who was saying that we have extreme good relationship with your communicational relationship with our people or our relations? A simple reason for that is we accept the way the communication is going on rather than working on it and trying to understand what should, I would say what should, not what would be, what should be the right way of communication in any relationship. So there was this very interesting thought which was put by one of the kids who came for my session. Till then, I didn't think about doing this session altogether. But then I understood the importance of how this communication works in all our relationships. The kid had a very simple question. That kid is around 13, 14 years old. And the question was quite simple. Why are we expected to tell everything to our parents? And then when we come and tell, they have 10 questions over that. Why can't they just listen to it? Why can't they understand my point of view? Or why can't I just go and talk to them whatever I want? A similar question was told to me by one of the groups of women where I was doing my session. Why do a husband and a wife's relation is considered to be the closest one? After marriage, your husband is everything to you, your world. Then why can't I just tell everything to this world? Why do I have to keep things to me? Why can't I just share the way I'm feeling? When I got these questions, I literally got goosebumps, because thank God I have been sharing that kind of relationship with my husband, where I can literally tell him whatever I want. But it gave me a thought that yes, people do face that difference in communication. And I started searching as to what are my relationships where I'm not able to follow this and what is the reason. And then I came out with the whole concept of this communication in relationships. Now let's try understanding why and where this barrier is created in communication. For that, I will first introduce you to 4 different mindset of people which exist. And I just have a request that if anybody of you is not understanding any single part of it, you can please put it in chat and I would try to reiterate or explain it to you better, because this particular session, I really want everybody to understand deeply. If you don't be a part of this session, whatever sessions on passion, happiness, and all the other sessions that we have taken, which somewhere will still be like a comma. It will not be a continuous line for you. And if you want me to convert it into Hindi, I will still do it. You can just post it in chat or on my private chat in case you don't want to post it in common chat. Now let's try and understand the different type of mindsets people have, and to what I say, different kind of ear that people have. So on one side, we will be understanding the mindsets, and another side will be understanding the ear. The reason for this is quite simple. When we talk about communication and you go on Google, the most common definition or the first Wikipedia definition would always tell you about a sender and a receiver and how the data is transferred between these two. But what I say is this data part forms very little. But the mindset of the sender and the ear of the receiver is something which makes the bigger difference. The 4 mindsets which I feel are, first being the factual mindset. Now, what is this factual mindset or a factual ear? These are the kind of people who would just take things as you tell them. No judgments, no analysis, no preconceived notions. So if I come and tell you it's raining outside and the clothes got wet, you will only listen to it as a fact. Then there are people who have a self-revelation ear or self-image ear and self-image mindset. What these people do is, the way they perceive their image to be, similar way they will perceive what the communicate or what the sender is telling you. So if I tell you, if assume you are one person who's not a very bold extrovert person and who always feels that no, I need to be shy and I just need to follow as to what is going around, what is being told to me. If I tell you it's raining outside and the clothes are getting wet, what you would do would be, oh, do they mean that I need to go and take them off? Do they mean that I need to do something, maybe just take them and keep them inside or something like that? On the contrary, if you are a bossy figure in the house, if you have an image of a man or a bossy woman or something in the house, your reaction would be, why are you telling it to me? Is it my job to do it? Why didn't you come and tell it to me? And this thing does happen. These are the kind of responses or behaviors in communication that we see from different types of people. The third kind of people are relationship mentality or relationship ear. How and what kind of a relationship do I share with you? Whether it is understanding, whether it is one superior and one, somebody who always listens to, or it is one who commands and the other person who always has to follow, your understanding of relationship will be like that. This kind of ear is a lot of times seen in a parent and child relationship. It is assumed that a parent has to speak and tell what you're supposed to do, and a child is supposed to follow. At times, it is also seen in relationships like a husband and a wife, where a husband would be a predominant figure, or a wife in certain relationships would be a dominant person, and another person would be just understanding and trying to just do whatever is told to them. So if I tell you the same dialogue which I told before, if you are sharing an equal relationship, you would simply assume it to be something which she has told you, and you would say, okay, no problem, I'll just take off the clothes and I'll just hang them inside. If you have a dominant figure again, that person would say, is it my job to get them inside? Can't you go and do it? It's not your work? So these are the two, the concept which I'm trying to convey would be same, but how you're perceiving it, how you're listening it, and how the communication is going differs a lot. Then comes the fourth part and the last one. This is the appeal ear. These kind of people always assume that if you are coming and telling it to me, you are looking for an answer or a solution. For example, if a kid goes to the parents and tells them something, that I had a fight in the school, if you are coming and telling it to me, either you want me to go and say something to that kid, or you want me to go and talk to the principal, or you want me to go and talk to the maybe try to reach you only by solutions. Now, when we have understood the four kind of ear or the four kind of mindsets we have, what we need to understand now is how this thing affects our whole communication with any kind of relationship. The concept is quite simple. If you have if you have a person who has a factual ear, like a parent or a wife or a husband, and the second relationship, the second person boyfriends, and they would say, I think you should celebrate my birthday. You should get me some flowers, and I really want to have some excessively interesting birthday this time, something which you've never done it before. But why? Why do we need to tell them the strategy? And this applies to everything which we do around us. Tell them what you would feel good with. So I, as a person, might tell today that it's my birthday and I would really want it to be special. Give the other person some time to decide what that special would be. If they know you, if they want to understand you, they will do it for you, rather than just telling the whole strategy, and when it is not fulfilled for whatever reasons, and then you get demotivated that this person doesn't have interest in this relationship. But there might be other issues which he might have faced, which you did not ask, you just perceived. And you just told them the strategy which you want, and not the style of person which that person has. Then comes request and not demand. Any kind of feeling, any kind of emotional support which you are looking for, you cannot demand that in relationship, even in a parent-child, even in a boyfriend-girlfriend, or even in friends. You can always request them to maybe understand you or to understand your kind of or style, but you cannot always tell that, okay, you're my best friend, you're not supposed to be with somebody else. Why? You can ask them that, okay, let me know the reason why you want to go to somebody else, or what can I change in me. But you can never demand on any relationship, I would say. Even if we take our parents for granted, we cannot demand things over them. We can just request. Even for our kids, do not demand. Request as in, I don't mean that you go and tell them that please switch off the TV, which they would not. Request as in to understand what is important for them, what means a lot to them. And a most important thing which I feel is the brick and wall for a good relationship is transparency. Understand what you want to say, Also understand what the other person feels of that relationship. So these are the few things which I felt is important in a relationship, which you can follow. Now, what I want to do is, I would want all of you to turn on your videos and one by one tell me what are those things which you feel you have developed to make your relationship a better one, or the things which you feel that you're facing issues with. If you don't want to tell it on face, you can chat it on my personal window, but I want an answer from everybody present here. Please switch on your videos. Neha, as you are my target today, you're my invited guest today, I would really want you to speak about it.
Okay, I think I really work on my communication with my husband. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
Okay. So I really work on my communication skills with my spouse. So I think that I'm working on, and it's better. But I have a 13-year-old son, and my communication with him is terrible. He doesn't listen to me at all. Initially, I would spank him also to study. Recently, I saw him playing games while the online classes were going on. So after that day, I am also working in a child-friendly initiative, child-friendly city initiative. So I realized that I can't do this to my son. I can't really be harsh on him. So I stopped altogether saying nothing to him. Now, even if I say anything like what you said, speaker's mindset and the listener's ear. So the way I speak probably is not right, or what he hears is not the same what I tell him. He is too much engrossed in his games. And honestly, I have no control over it, because the father thinks that playing games is good for the child. He plays a Minecraft game, which he thinks is very good. So we both have a different opinion. But then he's an intelligent child, and generally he was getting very good marks. So I don't, really, I have stopped saying anything to him totally. Unless it's very
Neha, I just stop me if you guys feel that I should not be asking you questions, because this is something, the main key to this session. So my question to Neha to you is, do you think that if you leave the whole concept of telling him or asking him something, will that build a happy relationship between you and him, maybe thinking 10 years down the line? Or do you feel that it is something which will create a gap in between both of you as to what your expectations or what you feel that relationship should be, and where this relationship is going?
Right, Pragya, I'm really concerned. And very recently, I have started seeing these changes. He's going to be 13 in November, and he's entering that teenage. So his behavior has changed a lot. And even I have realized that there's so many different things going on with me, around me. And it is time that I need to understand everything, in terms of motivational listening or whatever. I have not listened to all this in my life ever. Like, any motivational talks, but now I feel it is so important to find myself, and that is the reason I'm here, living life. What is happiness? What is the real communication problems that one faces, and how to deal with it, tackle with it? So I want to learn all these things, and honestly trying to find myself is the aim.
Okay, Neha, so let's do it the other way around. Because for this particular session, I have a very special concept which I have in mind. Just maybe 10 minutes more if you all are okay with the 10-15 minutes. Please give me a thumbs up if you are okay with the time. So because you have a 13-year-old, let's understand it from the mindset of a 13-year-old. So I have Akanksha. Akanksha, I think you're of the same age, around 13, 14 or so?
14 months.
14, no problem. 1 year can be adjusted. Anyways, COVID has taken our 1 year. So, Akanksha, try to make us understand from your perspective as to why you would not listen to your parents if they're trying to, I would not say interfere, but I would say, yeah, if they're trying to be a part of your things, or if they want to tell you something as to how it is to be done or why not, why would you not want to listen it?
The first thing is,
Akanksha, let's be specific here. Now, as an example, your parents say, why are you attending these sessions at this point in time? Like we have Neha's son playing some intelligent game suppose. Akansha, if suppose Neha is your mother, how would you convince her? Or go about your reasoning about it? Go ahead.
Maybe you do think that I'm not perfect for these sessions, but I think I need to listen to them. Because even I've gone through few things I thought which y'all didn't. I have different thoughts, y'all have different, and I think according to what I think, it would be good for me. And these sessions are really good and they are perfect for me, according to what I think. You may not know, but I do know it.
Right. So now if I work as a moderator here, Neha, what you said was, I don't want my child, I'm just being a moderator, how a parent would think and how a child would think and how the ideal relationship should be. As a parent, you feel that he should not be playing a game over there and he should be just focusing on the subject. Maybe he already knows about, he has already studied that subject and it's a little boring for him to attend the same subject or the same topic every single time. But if I be on Akanksha's side and I tell it the way Akanksha has told it, I think as a mother, for me, it would be a patak then. So I'm just being on both the sides. So what a better way for both the relationships should be, if Akanksha wants to convince you, it would be that, Mom, I am also going through a few things in my life and I have heard 1 or 2 sessions and I think that these are going to help me a little bit. Maybe you can also sit with me and learn something out of these. That way, you're not being harsh on your parents as to what you have to say. As a mother, what you can do, if you and Akanksha are a couple, what you can do is, okay, Akanksha, you're a grown up now, at least you have seen some part of the world. Let me try of what you think about it. Let me also listen to these sessions and then maybe you can tell me as to what you have learned from these. Right? So here, both the mother and the child are coming on a common grounds and trying to understand each other. Similar way, you can just go to your son and tell him that, okay, I think it's a good game which you're playing, but maybe you can just play it after the session and I'll also see how you play it. Because we don't have this game in our generation. Maybe it's something more intelligent which you are doing and you can also teach it to me. Why not? Let's have a time, coffee together and just do it. So these are the basic mistakes where we don't want to approach the next person in the way they are thinking from both the sides. Now, I would like to call JP Mishraji, who has, I don't know, JP Mishraji, how many years of marriage do you have?
We 98 we married.
So that's almost
38 years.
22 years.
38.
So, yeah.
90,
so,
90. So which year? 98 or 92?
98.
98 you got married. So it's 22 years of marriage.
22 years.
Let's hear it from him then.
And same problem we were facing at the age of when my child was around 10, 11 years. So we solved this problem with a very simple thing, that we started listening to him. Like what we were doing that time, that whatever in his mind, anything and everything. And fortunately for us, he opened up. And then we became, at the same age, we became the friend. And I myself traveled to the age when I was 12. So for me, that time the age was 16. Like I was rebellion at the age of 16 or 17. The child, nowadays the child are becoming rebellion by 12, 13, 14. So once we travel and we share that I was also like you, this one single sentence helped a lot to Mrs. Neha Walia. Just say one thing. I was feeling the same when I was of your age. The communication will open up and the child will be so happy that he will be sharing everything. And it is very important nowadays that the child should share everything. They should not hide anything with the parents. And this will happen only when we travel at our own age. Because even today, at the age of 20 to 24, I was not listening to my mother. So I mean, it's a fact. It's everybody knows it. So the way my mother handled, same way we start handling our kids. It will be great for. It will be maybe a little bit of more success or less success, but it will be a very fruitful life, and peace will be at life. That is, I can guarantee.
Okay, I would just like to add there to what JP Mishra sir said. Here with the younger ones also, here Akansha, Shreya, and Abhihail. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that right. So the name, okay, Abhihail. The reason why we are having this platform is we have both the perspectives in here. For the younger ones, like the Akansha, the way you were saying it to Neha, or the way you're saying it to your mom, that makes a difference. The underlying difference is how we are communicating it. Here, while we are talking of people who are of the parental age, talking about how they need to build it from our end, from the younger generation's end, you also need to understand how you need to communicate the same things. Neha, the point that you were talking, look at how we are when we have not got any fine schooling or learning of things of how to communicate with our kid. Look at the challenges that a 13-year-old who has not been exposed to any formal communication, how would he do that? Today, I have a 6-year-old who is in a similar situation, but we are lucky enough that he is a lot open. He's having that ability to express what he's feeling. Not that we have developed him. It's just that we have constantly been in touch with him, been communicating with him. And that's where that openness comes up. For us as a parent, or even for the younger ones as a child, it's all about opening up and expressing it with calm. When you respond to something, you respond to the situation. When you're expressing something, you are calm enough to tell what is it that you're feeling. That's where the difference lies. As a parent or as a child. Go ahead,
One
Pragya.
more thing, Neha, that I think most of the people over here, you were in one situation as a mother. Now you have got a view from a person who has already lived into that scenario. You've also got a perspective from a kid who's 14. So I think it will give you much more exposure to understand as to where and what is going wrong. We obviously can't judge as to how your relationship is with the kid, but then this perspective might really help. And one more thing, one small thing before we go to the next question. I think most of us have some preset traditions, preset cultural exposures, conditionings from the childhood, and our values that have been developed the way they have been. That's where the whole issue of this understanding of communication starts or ends, I would say. Once you get all these cultural aspects and values you have developed, once you get that into your mind, and then you listen with the preconceived notion to anybody, any relationship, you're just making a wall, which is unbreakable, I would say. So the first thing which you need to do is listen in the current scenario, only at that time. Don't keep in your mind, okay, my mother used to say this. This is how my father used to do it. This is how my husband has done it before. Maybe they have done it before, but how do you think it is applicable for the current situation? Mostly this thing is said for the girls. When they start one point, it will go to 10 years old. Whatever you have done, everything will be dug and you'll be screwed up for that now. You'll be literally roasted. So please don't give them any seed to anything, because they will not talk about what you have done now, but they will also talk about what you have done years back and which you have already forgotten.
Remember the thing that Pragya told about the men's brain and the women's brain in the last session? I believe that's what it all boils down to. Of what all you're recording, I believe that's a famous joke why women wear bindi. Because they're recording at every point in time, and it can be used for training and development purposes anytime in the future in your life.
But I would say that this is not only with women. Even men have their pre-decided mindsets, the way they have been brought up by their mothers, fathers, and the kind of experiences they have gone through when they go to do work outside and all these things. So what we need to do is, when we are communicating, please keep all these things away. Now next, let me take a question from Umar. Umar is our guest who comes from Saudi Arabia. Hi Umar, can you please switch on your video?
Yes.
So Umar, my question for you is, that when it comes to a relationship of a husband and a wife, if there are people who have two completely different mindsets and exposures, how do you think what kind of problems do you think they would face, and how do you think they can communicate better?
That's a very good question, Pragya. I always believe that we as persons, in any relationship, we should be each other's mirror. For example, if I am seeing the other person, it should be the reflection of myself, and that, for example, what my values or what are my inner values are, I am I am looking at that person in that way, certain way, and the other person is looking to me as that also. So first of all, we have to find that common ground that in between is there, and we have to develop that empathy. I always believe that the empathy is the most important element of any relationship. So you may say it's love, you may say trust and all, but able to understand the person at a deeper level, and from his or her point of view, from where that things are coming from that person, what are the history behind it. You cannot say that all of a sudden a person will react in that way. There is something behind that. Okay, while we are parenting also, same we are doing this thing. We are not acting as mirror, we are not coming together and for example, if there is a problem, we have to solve it as not as a problem. We have to look at focus at the solution. Okay, how we can solve it. Oh, there is a problem, how I can escape it, how I can run away from it, how I can avoid it. No, you have to focus on how we can solve it together. Okay, what are the things that we can do together to make it happen. So it's all about approach, and mindset is the most important thing. I always believe that there are three or four main components, three main components of any relationship. It is spiritual, it is emotional, and it is mental. If any of it is missing, I think relationship fails. So you say that brains maybe everybody's brain is same, but minds are different. See, mind is your software. Okay, and its software can get corrupted, and old software may not live in this kind of this times, this modern times. I always believe old ways not with new ways. So you have to update yourself, parents have to update yourself, husband and wife have to update themselves, and have to progress accordingly, and they have to adopt and be flexible, and be able to understand each other from the point that they are doing things. Otherwise, if we are going to compare each other and compare a very natural, everybody think, oh, I have this predetermined set of values. I will compare you on, I will judge you on basis of that. So stop being judgmental and see the person as a soul, as a different mind, and a different emotional being. And then you will realize that how beautiful that person is inside, and that's most important for me. Thank you. Back to you, Pragya.
Thank you, Umar. Now, just for a second review on this, when we have heard it from Umar, let's try and understand it from a youngster, not youngster, I would say. Is there anybody who has a, okay, I have two options. Who would you want to listen? Yeah. I would want to take somebody who has had a bad relationship, maybe with a boyfriend or maybe with a friend or anybody. Can those two people please raise hands? Umaji is there, I think. Can somebody who has had a bad relationship with their boyfriend or any friend? This is something which I can't select because I don't know. Okay, we have Preeti. Preeti, can you please switch on your video if you want to, or if you just want to switch on your audio, that's also perfectly fine.
Hi, Pragya. Hi, everyone. Sorry, I'll just not switch on the.
No problem.
Okay. So, yeah, I come in the second category. I'm a single mother, so obviously I don't have a good relationship with my ex-husband. Or, I mean, yeah. So I have an ex-husband. But, okay, what do I talk about? What do you...
So what I want you to talk about, Preeti, is that what kind of a communication differences did you feel, or what kind of problems did you feel with your ex-husband, which made you to come this way or part your ways with
Okay.
that person, and you felt this
Okay.
life would be better?
Okay, so the thing is, I think with us, what didn't work was that he completely closed out, and he never actually discussed why he completely moved out, and he said, I don't even want to discuss. So for me, that was not like, I wanted some communication, but from his side, it was just like a open and shut case, and like no discussion. So otherwise, if you ask me, I don't think we had like too many issues, but something happened on his side, whatever happened, but he closed out and he said that I don't want to. So I think that, I don't know, it comes as a different mindset or what, but basically I wanted to go for counseling or other stuff, but I guess that's where it didn't work, because the communication styles or the expectations were very different.
Right. So, sorry, just Rahul.
Kirti, would you like to talk
Kirti
about?
has said that she's busy with something right now. She won't be able
No
to.
issues. Or because you keep listening to a lot of things, you could share someone's, without obviously mentioning any names, you could share someone's perspective or some challenge that people have faced in a relationship from what you have heard also. That is also fine, if you would like to.
Hi, good evening. So I do get a lot of cases, and I'm also combining what I've heard from my friends and my own experiences. Usually what happens when we communicate, we tend to be passive aggressive. We sort of accumulate all these things, and then like Pragya and you Rahul mentioned, there is one moment when we, put a recorder on and tell everything all at once. So it's best to be assertive in communication when we are time and again solving issues and moving forward instead of accumulating everything. So one style which I've seen, passive aggressive, is very damaging. Then of course there are people who are very aggressive in nature all the time. That is also something which creates a lot of issue. And expectations are very normal in a relationship. Without expectations, no relationship can work. But it should be in a balanced form, and it should be always communicated in the right manner. Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Kirti. Thank you so much for that. Now, just for the last round, just for 2 minutes, I would want one of the kids to speak as to what kind of communications problem do they face, maybe with your friends, your parents, or anybody around you, if you would want to speak. Can I have any one person speaking on that?
Abhiel, you can speak up.
Yes, actually, it's not like we don't want to open up, or we can't open up. It's just that we want to be alone sometimes. It's not we're showing attitude or acting cold or something like that. It's just we need our own. It's just that we need our own space. Which doesn't mean that we don't want to go and socialize with other people. It will just take time, as I don't know, should I tell it as adolescence, which
Go ahead, no issues.
doesn't make any sense, but yeah, kids I feel like that. So sometimes I also act really cold. I really don't want to interact with people, but so others like my parents or anybody whom I know, my teachers, they keep pointing out, saying that why don't you socialize with everyone, why don't you this, and like it's not like I'm an introvert but then it just happens like that.
Right. So Abhiel, that is a very good point, which frankly even I faced when I was a kid. My mom would always come to me and she'll ask, why are you sitting alone here? Why can't you just come and sit outside? And my answer was quite simple. See, when at times as parents, you just tell us that we need some space, just give us some time, you go and sit outside. I can do the same, right? I'm same human being. I have my own preferences and I have my own mind as to what's going in there. And I really don't want to be with anybody maybe then. So that's the kind of mindset which even kids have. And we really need to appreciate and we need to understand that too. And this can be in any relationship. It can be in a husband or wife also. If a wife doesn't want to talk to you or doesn't want to give you maybe 15 minutes of her time, maybe she just wants it for herself. And we don't need to question it. Or maybe a husband, if he has come from the office and just wants to sit alone for some time, you just don't need to bomb on him as to now, you don't have any interest on me, you don't want to talk to me, you don't have any communication in our relationship. As soon as he enters, we'll be bombing our expectations and questions and whatever happened in our day, where he would just want to be out of the mindset of thinking anything and just be with himself for those 15 minutes, right? And just for the information of Rahul, I don't wear a bindi. So I'm not recording anything for anybody here, right? So now as we know as to what problems come in different kind of relationships at different levels, I would want to hand it over to Rahul to give on his ideas as to what it would be. Don't worry, I think everybody's got tired. I talk a lot, but we should give men time, at least 5-10 minutes.
Okay, I'll be quick and short and simple with a few inputs that I have for what works and why some of the very simple petty issues create the bigger challenges in our lives. It can be both as a parent, as a spouse and husband, as a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever relationship that you're talking of. It's applicable wherever you wish to. You can reflect upon where you're finding this relevant and you can use it accordingly. First thing, one of the biggest challenges that we're facing today in relationships is that we have become traders. Our relationships are more about what am I giving, what am I getting, and that's where the bigger challenge is. Because when you're looking at trading, we always look at short-term pictures. We are looking at something like, okay, now it's been 2 months into the relationship. I'm still not sure whether that person is interested in me, or what is he doing for me, or what is he not doing for me. I'm doing so much. We talk of even in friendships. It need not be just about love relationships. It's about friendships. Always remember, relationships are for the long term. We are going in any relationship for a long term, be it a professional relationship or your personal relationships, or even as a parent. Always remember, it's a very long journey. And that's where we need to understand it's not a trade. It's an emotion that has to come in. And in the emotion, the first thing that you need to understand is, what are you giving in? What are you investing yourself into? That's the perspective that we need to start focusing on, rather than what am I getting? What is the benefit for me? When you start thinking of it in that ways, it becomes a trade. It's not a relationship. And the other thing, it's about quality, not quantity. Today, when I see people not able to give time or not having time for other person or the relationships that you're investing in, it's often the question is not about the amount of time that you'll be giving. Today, I and Pragya probably, or even with my child, I might not be spending like an hour or 2 hours a day, or sitting with them and having my good moments always with them. But it's all about those 5 minutes when I'm back from office, or before we are going to sleep, or before we are just doing something. It's all about those 5 minutes when I'm totally with her. Just about being concerned, being caring about what she went through the day and talking to her. It's those quality of time that you're spending with people. So today when I see people going to restaurants for a candlelight dinner, I can see beyond the candle, there's 2 more lights which are still on. The phone lights. While they're still talking to their, being with that person, they're still somewhere disconnected from that moment. We need to start building in those moments where we are purely and truly only with each other. And that need not be for an hour or for 2 hours or for 24 hours. It can be just that 5 minutes a day, and that will build a long-lasting relationship. It's a quality of time that we're talking of, even with a child, even with a parent. You can just be there for that 5 minutes and open up and talk. Second thing, what do you focus on? We all are flawed. Me also. We all have our own flaws. We have our limitations. We have our negative points. We often end up, most often the relationships end up because of what we're focusing on. Each one has their own forte. Each one has their own strength. Each one has their own beauty. What we need to look at is that, because every one of us is flawed. When people talk of the moon and see how beautiful it is, take a telescope and have a watch. But still, when you're not getting the detail of what is visible there, in your friends, in your spouse, in your boyfriend, in your girlfriend, in your parents, everyone is flawed. What we need to do is, we need to start looking for the good things. That's what will remind us to build that relationship. That's what we need to focus on. Because we often end up with a negative tone, negative things of what is not good, what is not available, what is not being done. And often easily ignoring what is being done. So even if your parents, or you're talking of your boyfriend that he's not doing this, he's not doing that, put off everything and start making a list of what is being done. And then you'll realize that there's a lot which is being done. And I was just easily ignoring all these things, looking at things which were not there. The next thing, we often wait for tomorrow. Make those hugs, give those kisses. say that I love you often, say sorry often. It's okay. We all make mistakes. We all think of forgiving and asking for forgiveness a lot later. We need to start focusing on things, what we can do today and not tomorrow. If you have that special dress that you have bought that you'll be wearing on your anniversary or on that special occasion, don't wait for it. If you want to say something to someone, ask for sorry. Don't make it even for tomorrow morning. Do it right now. If you want to say that I love you, if you want to just hug someone, do it right now. Because the biggest challenge that we face is not in the presence of emotion. The emotion is not missing. It's just that how well and how often are we expressing that emotion? That's where the challenge is. So today, if you have your spouse or if you have your boyfriend or girlfriend, I think the case could be different. If you have your spouse, ask yourself, when was the last time that you said an I love you to him or her? That will answer the question of where we are getting it wrong. We are expressing far, far, far lesser than what we should be doing, because that's what makes us feel about those things. And last thing, we often have different forms of communication. Like me and Pragya personally, let me share with you all. We are totally different people, but still we have a commonality of purpose of how we are looking at our own life. Rahul,
are you back?
I'm back. Am I audible?
Yes.
So this is what happens. We are not sure when the other person is not listening. We are not sure when the other person has stopped laughing. We are just speaking our thought process and what we are thinking. We are not waiting for what the response of the other person is. Sometimes that happens, but just that, like we're connected again, we just have to come back, connect again, rebuild again, and begin from where we left. That's what the idea is. What we need to start working on, what we need to start working on is our forms of expression could be different, but never underestimate that the emotion is not present. Me and Pragya are two different people altogether, completely, with regard to the way of expression or what we communicate and how we communicate. That's what the bigger challenge is. We need to start focusing on, she's a person who's always into the idea that there has to be special occasions, big occasions, celebration.
Yeah.
But while I am as a person, the way I am, I look at the more daily moments. If you tell me it's my birthday today, sometimes there can be a situation where I don't know it's my birthday, because it doesn't matter. Because for the rest of the year, what you're doing to me on the rest of the days is what matters to me. Not that the other person doesn't understand that. It's just that our forms of communication are different. Despite that fact, we still love each other. Despite that fact. So when you talk of teams, always remember, we often think that two people, for them to gel well, they have to have a same thought process or same forms of expression. That's the biggest flaw that we can ever be in. You talk of a cricket team, you got talk of any teams that you know of. It's a variability that brings in the spice in what the relationship is. Today, as a speaker, I'm more of a philosophical or a motivational speaker, while Pragya is more about the detail. She's more about the technical aspects of how we can work on things. So that's where the difference is. Had I married someone who was purely motivational like me, I don't think so you all will be sitting here listening to a 1 hour motivation session. Or had Pragya been a technical person where I'm talking the theories and all those things, equally the case, you'd not be sitting here. You'd get bored after 15-20 minutes. The spice comes from the mix, and the most important thing is appreciating the difference. We often don't appreciate the differences which are there. In those differences, we find ourselves, we develop, we evolve. That's what we got to focus on. With that, these are the few things that I have in mind with regard to how we can focus on building relationships. And I didn't talk about the most important relationship, your own relationship with yourself. Self-love, your own relationship with yourself. Often we forget that you are the most important person that you are living with. Forget friends, forget the other people that you're surrounded with. What is the relationship that you're carrying with yourself? You often need to remind yourself that you are also important. We often lost, like we talked in the last session, we often lost in the roles and responsibilities that we're playing. It's just that we need to remind ourselves that we are also important. Pamper yourself. Just remember that you are the only opportunity being given for your own life. Rest all are there, all will fall in place. With that, I hand it over back to Pragya.
Thank you, Rahul. So as we all heard as to what different things we should follow while communicating and how we should understand our different relationships, the very important point which Rahul told about the communication of relationship with yourself. Till the time we are clear on it, till the time we know and understand what we are looking in people and what we are looking from ourselves, anything which I have told is not going to matter. People might be having very good relationship for them for you from their side, but you will never be able to accept it till the time you are happy with yourself, till the time you are communicating with yourself of whether this is what you really want. And also when it comes to the point which Rahul said, that for some people, special days might not matter. For some, it might be everything. What we need to understand is how we are doing it for the person who is in that relation. So I am one person who would expect Rahul to do, I don't know what all things on my birthday. I'm a very creative person in that sense. And Rahul is totally one person who believes that what is a special day? It's like, every day I make it special for you by doing small things. And trust me, it took us almost 10 years, 13 years, I would say, to understand each other's style and get adjusted to it. But still at times this thing comes up that why are you not doing it my style? But still we agree. And now what I have started doing is I celebrate his birthday in my style and my birthday in his style. A simple change. So I'm also happy celebrating birthday and he's also happy celebrating birthdays. So that's how it's something which we prefer you working on any relationships. Try to understand, try to strike that balance, which is important. And try to also make the other person understand if you feel that they are not understanding what you want. Try to make them understand that this is what I am expecting out of this relationship. Now, as we come towards the end of this session, an exercise which we do in all the sessions, please turn on your cameras. Just 1 minute last exercise before we leave. And at this point of time, please try to remember all the relationships which you had, which you feel did not work for you, which you felt that these relationships are flawed. Maybe you should not have these relationships, or maybe they should have just not been a part of your life. All the relationships around you. Try to figure out what they did wrong to you, at least what you felt was wrong. And from now on, just try to understand that it was only your part of story. It was something which you perceived, which you understood according to your mindset and your ear. But the story on the other end might have been quite different, which maybe we didn't ask, which maybe the other person was not able to explain, or which maybe did not even matter. And from now on, just forget those moments which you have had with that person and try to begin from zero from now and understand the kind of people they were, the kind of mindsets they had, and the kind of exposures they had was very different from what you did. Maybe you had given 100% of your relationship to this. You have done your part of communication, but you can't judge others. So just let it go. What you need to do now is communicate with yourself of what that relationship, where and how did it hurt you. That was the biggest loss you have got, not that person. Now communicate it with yourself that if it did not matter to him or her, it doesn't matter to your inner self. And that's your communication with yourself. Just let that person go. Let that person not matter. Even if that person is closest to you, If they could not communicate, it was not worth. Let's start afresh from now. You can all open your eyes, please.
I'm so happy to see that everyone switched on their videos. It's so beautiful to see the calm in your
इतना
thinking.
सन्नाटा क्यों है भाई?
क्या?
उमर जैसे इतना सन्नाटा क्यों है भाई? I think I should have said that because with listening to Pragya always and even in this session, you can understand that.
No problem. That's why you have become so intelligent, Rahul, listening to me all the time.
Or
No
maybe
problem.
maybe the other way around also.
Ma'am, I'm not able to hear you.
Okay, now can you hear me, Shreya? Now can you hear me?
Hello?
Now can you hear me, Shreya?
Shreya, can you hear now?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Okay, we'll just go ahead with the ending of the whole session. And I'll just be sharing a small link of your feedback. Please share your feedback of how you found the session, and if there is any areas of improvement which you would want us to do.
Can I just have a minute?
Yeah,
Pragya?
sure.
Yeah, go ahead, Kirti.
So this is something very, very important that I wanted to share, and that's just a birthday wish. Can we all please unmute ourselves and let's give it up for Pragya, beautiful, beautiful lady. And I'm sure आपकी expectations कुछ और रही होंगी, but we celebrated like this. So please, all of us, let's join together and wish Pragya a very happy birthday. Can I sing a song? I don't have a good voice, but I would love to sing it for you.
Sure, thank you.
Go ahead.
All right, everybody. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Pragya. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you so much. So this is
happy leveling up.
So Kirti, as you've wished birthday for me, at least these are the people whom I always see in all our sessions, and you all have got really close to me. When I'm in bad times, I get messages from all of you as to whether I'm doing fine or not. And
there's a digital family.
Yes, and there is this session, there's this song which always, that was something which always, I like that song, but now I'm understanding the meaning of it. And it goes like, I have a much more worse voice than what Kirti has, so please bear with me, it's my birthday, you have to listen to me today. So the song goes like, किसी की मुस्कुराहटों पे हो निसार, किसी के वास्ते हो तेरे दिल में प्यार, किसी का दर्द मिल सके तो ले उधार, जीना इसी का नाम है. So this is something which I am trying to follow in my life.
आपका इंडियन आइडल का ऑडिशन पास हो गया है. अब नेक्स्ट राउंड में चलेंगे.
This is something which I am trying to follow for my coming years of life. I don't know how long it will be, but whatever it is, I am going to follow this particular part and make
Pragya,
it.
your audio is not audible.
Okay, now is it?
Yeah.
So I really request all of you to please come to our sessions regularly. Please forward these session messages to all your friends and family who would be interested to join in, so that at least I get to do something which I love doing, and I'm just looking forward to all of you making this whole family bigger and bigger from people around you. And I really hope that we are sharing a good communicable relationship with each other. If there's anything you want to communicate to us, which you feel should be improved, it will be great listening from all of you. And I hope I could give you some views into your relationships through this particular session. And I would also want to thank the kids over here who popped up these questions about relationships in front of me. I frankly, at the age I am right now, okay, I don't want to tell it, but then at the age of 34, I didn't have these questions in my mind, which kids of 13, 14 years are asking me in my sessions. So I understand that the kids nowadays have much more exposure and understanding to how they want to build their relationships than
they are
maybe
more
we
mature.
all have now. We
This
we understood these points quite late in our life, but I'm glad that we are still trying to make our relationships better by attending this session.
I think
And
this is something.
I would want to listen from each one of you as to how you worked on your relationship better. Please do send me a WhatsApp whenever you feel that it's getting better from what it was.
With regard to the underlying point, I think what I feel is this is something which I call genetic evolution. What my previous generation, like my dad's generation, or someone who was born in 1940s or 50s, the things that the way they have evolved, and the way the next generation or our generation or our children's generation is evolving in, these are transformations which are happening genetically, and also the fact that the environment is changing. The environment in which you look at someone who was born in 1960s, look at how they were and how their life has passed, and look at the generation which is presently. The lives are different. It's just that we need to accept these differences and build over understanding these differences, and that's how I think we all of different generations can live amicably and still grow together. When the older generation is open up to learning and the younger generation is opening up to understanding, that's where the beauty of the relationships will go on. And the ones which we are getting into as friends, as boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, or anything that we're getting into, I feel at the heart of the success of any relationship is two things. First is the intent of the people getting into it, and second is the communication that we are having in that relationship. When the intent is true and pure, it's all about building the communication, and the relationship is all about that communication which is required, the expression which is required, the understanding which is required. That's what is required. The first point is obviously the intent which is there. If two people are fundamentally different and have a different expectation of life, or what the purpose of getting that relationship is, that's if there's a flaw in that or there's a difference in that, I think the relationship may not work. But somewhere, if there is a commonality of purpose, there's a mutual respect, I believe any relationship can work purely on the basis of building our expression and communication with that person. That's what I hope you all work around in whatever relationships that you are in right now. So with
And
that,
I think generation gap, Rahul, is quite simple. How I explain is the type of jeans which used to come in Umaji's generation, the high waist ones, and the gap is increasing and increasing in the kind of jeans my son wears, who's just 6 years old now, and I just pull it up and he's like, Mom, this is how we're supposed to wear it.
Generation gap is more of a expectations gap, actually.
Yeah.
What
Indeed,
are we
indeed.
expecting? So what we want from each other, and I always believe that transparency is very important.
That's right. I think that's
clarity
where
and our personal goals and mutual goals of our relationship should be aligned, and they should not become in conflict, and we should
indeed
respect
very
each
well
other.
said, Umar.
Yes.
That's the thing that we need to work on. The expectations, the differences that are there.
Yes.
And the generation gap is also such that the kids over here are attending sessions which they would have literally gone bonkers my head if I would have attended when I was their age. At 13 and 14, I never went for any motivational sessions. But over here, all the kids are attending, they're asking their questions and they're trying to understand it much more. That's the kind of gap we have got now.
So it's already 11 p.m.
Yeah.
And I think I'm left with just 1 hour to do something about Pragya's birthday. So with that, we'll be signing off. With Corona, I think the thing that we decided was let's not do anything today, not celebrate it, because we want to have one more birthday. So just let's stay put and enjoy the day, just with a little time with each other, and let's grow. So with that, let's signing off for today's session.
Have you all written your feedbacks, please? I have got only 3. Please write down your feedbacks. We'll just wait for 1 minute. You all can write your feedbacks.
I think if they open the link, if not, they can obviously, as always, thank you, Umaji. Thank you, Kirti, for responding on the social apps, LinkedIn and other places. We are thankful that you keep responding there and keep adding your comments and feedback over there. Akansha also on Insta. So that's the difference. See, LinkedIn, me and Kirti often meet up on LinkedIn. Me and Umaji meet up on Facebook. Me and Akansha meet up on Instagram. See the differences? Each one's preference, each one's age, each one's need. We are all different, but still connected in different forms. So keep your comments flowing in. I'll share the pictures or the details of the event and what we're going to have next. I'll be soon showing the next event in the next 1 or 2 days. We are thinking of how we want to go about with the impromptu sessions or what we want to do about that. And we'll be having that on Tuesdays, or we'll be just having the Saturday sessions. We are still working around that. We'll soon share the details on the WhatsApp club. Okay, with that, I would like to sign off for today's session. Thank you, everyone, and thank you for making it special for Pragya as well with those wishes. That will be a memorable one. I think that's 1 year where she'll remember forever of how it was made special by people whom we have not met until date, and yet connected from our hearts, and that's where the relationship has been bonded. Thank you, everyone.
I'll be happier if we get the feedbacks. I'm still waiting for that.
Oh.
My birthday gift, please.
So you are doing the business, huh? No trading.
It's
no
not
trading.
trading. It's just a birthday gift. Even if there is an improvement, I would love to have it. So it's not only the good comments, it's something which needs to be improved. Somebody heard me. See, I have got one more.
Okay.
Okay, Pragya, I think it's already 11.
Yes,
we should be signing off by now.
Sure.
Thank you, everyone, for spending your Saturday nights with us. We are honored.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye bye. Tata.
Bye.
Shubhratri. Namaskaram. Namaste.
So then it should be Shabba Khair, right?
Shabba Khair. इधर तो अभी 8:30 हुए हैं, 8:30 है. शब्बा खैर भी दे रहे.